Hi, Brad.
Hi, Sal.
So it's fall time here, which means summer's coming south of the equator.
Yes.
For folks who are interested in seeing parts way south,
Right, yeah.
start planning now.
Yeah, Torres del Paine, Chile, Argentina, summer's coming, so.
We visited El Calafate in Argentina.
Yes.
We were able to get there. We took a bus from Chile.
Yeah. Puerto Natales had a bus, 7:45 in the morning, and
Right.
6 hours, I don't remember.
Puerto Natales was the town we stayed in just outside of Torres del Paine National Park.
Yeah.
For folks who don't know. Anyway, back to El Calafate. La di da.
Yeah. Yeah. It reminded me of like Vail, it's like, there's pricey shops and pricey restaurants and, I think we've mentioned it before, just get off the main drag, and we went over a couple of streets and found a really great place to eat.
Yeah.
I wish I remembered the name. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
And I'll post it at the bottom on the YouTube, because it was really good, really reasonable. Everything was home cooked. Now, it was closed one day, so, you can't depend on that for everything, but really good place.
We took the bus in. Did we walk to our accommodations?
Yeah.
The biggest problem we had there was the ATM machines
Right.
only dispense at the time it was about $65 US at a time. Everything was expendy. People would take credit cards, but they didn't want to. They'd tack on a big surcharge.
And $65 is, 1,000 Argentinian pesos. And it just wasn't enough. And you were charged 10%.
Yeah.
So, and they ran out of money. All the ATMs ran out of money one weekend.
All five.
Yeah, 5 ATMs in town. None of them had money. And we finally did find one that would shell out $2,000 at a time, but still, that's just not enough. So
It isn't enough when you're doing tours and you need money.
yeah, absolutely.
But so I guess the point of that is bring money in with you into Argentina if you can, or something.
I put a
and
note
change
in.
it.
I'm always carrying a $200 stash of US dollars, because almost anywhere will take US dollars. You can go to the bank and they'll change it out for you. So carry an extra 200 that you don't plan on touching, and just for times like this. What are we going to do?
Yeah. Well, why on earth did we go to El Calafate, Swanksville anyway?
Glaciers.
Yeah.
Perito Moreno specifically. There's also the biggest glacier, I want to say in the world, but that's probably not true. In Patagonia, probably. What's the name of that?
Uppsala.
Uppsala. Yeah, so we took we'll start with one. We went out to Puerto Bandera and got on a boat, and they take you up the River of Ice, Rio de Helio. And seriously, icebergs, huge, just massive icebergs you're driving by, and you go through this channel where the boat's rocking, and there are waves like slamming into the big window where all the people are sitting. It holds 100 people. We're all sitting down because it's rocking so much. These waves are creaming over. So once you got through that, it mellowed out quite a bit. But that was really exciting going across that.
Yeah, really exciting. Sadly, you don't get that close to Uppsala Glacier.
Yeah,
they really sell it.
Yeah, they sell it, but we were probably a mile away. You could see it for sure, but it was a mile out there, and we heard the excuse there's some hidden ice or something, and they didn't want to take the chance. It was still worth it. There's still 2 other glaciers you went to.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Spigazny and O'Neill, maybe something like that.
Okay.
So it was definitely worth the trip. So we're not huge tour people, but sometimes you need to take a tour.
Yeah.
So, and this was one of them. And then the second one, Perito Moreno.
That was really great.
That is outstanding.
It's a great bus ride. So the tour bus picks you up, and it takes a couple hours, I guess, an hour and a half to get to the spots that you go to. It was really beautiful.
And it snowed the night before, so everything was, the mountains were snow covered.
Summertime snow.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah.
But we went on a boat. And it says, oh, you're not going to get closer than 1,000 yards or 300 yards, whatever it was. And I'm like, well, if we're not going to get that close, why do we even want to go? and ignore the sign. You got to go on the boat. The problem is, it's 600 feet high, 200 yards, 150 yards. I mean, so it's 400 feet high, and it just doesn't look that much. But when you're sitting there and then this huge chunk of ice falls off, and you just crush the entire boat. I mean, this thing's the size of my living room falling into the water. It was just amazing to see that, to hear the noise, crack, crack, to see this thing falling. It was really fantastic to see that.
I think it's hard to, you can't tell how big it is. You
Right.
really can't, because it's so huge, and it's the entire horizon, and it looks like it's just this thing going on out there. But when there's at that particular part of the park at Perito Moreno, they call them what do they call it, balconies? But there's like a wooden walkway that you can view the glacier from. When you see those boats out there, and you see how incredibly, they're like a little teeny tiny,
Right.
they're so small because it's massively huge.
Yeah.
That was really neat.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
It's one of the few glaciers that is still growing. So I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
that was
that's
very
interesting.
interesting. And at times during the winter, there's a lake, and the glacier grows out enough to separate the lake from merging. So one will get higher than the other, and eventually it will melt through and rush. So they've driven boats through the big arch that's up there. I don't think they do that anymore. It was probably
Back when people weren't so interested.
right. They don't let you do that anymore, probably, but maybe. I don't know.
Safety.
It looks really cool. So we didn't see the arch; it wasn't there.
It
But-
had fallen, right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
we definitely. You'd be standing on the walkways and you just listen. And you hear the crack, crack everywhere,
really loud.
and then every once in a while, a big chunk would fall off into the water. Really cool.
From El Calafate, you can also take a bus up to, or I guess if you rented a car, you could drive up to El Chelton.
Yes.
It's supposed to be a really sweet hiking and beautiful area. We did not do that for two reasons. One, I was sick and I wasn't going to be able to do any hiking at all. I had a really bad congestion. The second reason is that the bus ride was really expensive. It was like $80 each way per person or something.
I think it was round trip, but still $80 for a day trip. It's pretty pricey. And doing it again, I would go up there and spend the night.
Yeah.
There's virtually no internet there, so we had no way of booking anything. Although this time of year we would have not had a problem, but with Sally.
Well, it was summer.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, we had trouble. We had a lot of trouble in South America because we don't speak Spanish.
Making arrangements. A lot of the websites wouldn't translate to English. So that being said, we never slept outside.
No.
Yeah, so I would not let that stop you.
Right, I wouldn't let it stop you, and I probably would not go back to El Calafate. I would recommend it.
Oh, I would definitely recommend it. Really, I thought those two, specifically Perito Moreno was spectacular. So that rivaled anything we saw in Chile. Great Glacier was fantastic. It had the icebergs and different stuff too. But I guess, we saw that large cowling that really stood out.
Yeah.
That something like that breaks off and sinks and then comes back up and goes sideways. And I mean, it rocked the boat. The waves rocked the boat. And we're, hundreds of yards away. So it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
Really neat.
And then just hearing it, it's perfectly quiet except you hear, and it goes back for miles. I mean, you're probably looking 5 miles back on this glacier, and you can hear
From
it.
the balconies, you
Yeah.
can see over the top.
Yeah, so
It's really neat.
Yeah.
You can do, I think, an ice hike there as well. We
Yes.
didn't do that because I was sick, sadly, so we missed that. So maybe we do need to go back.
Yeah, well, go back somewhere. I definitely enjoyed it. I would definitely go back. So
Good.
there's a lot of things I would want to do in that area that we didn't get to, and we were there for a month. It's like it's not like we probably didn't plan as well as we should, but we had a good time.
I thought it was difficult though. It was more difficult in southern Chile and that southern tip of South America than it was anywhere else we visited in terms of trying to get information.
Yes.
It wasn't as widely available as it is in some other locations. Some places you go and there's like, man, there's nothing but websites
Right.
with tourist information. There
Oh, yeah.
was not as much.
Ecuador and Peru. Peru's got the tourist stuff figured out.
There wasn't as many websites that had information available, and then the second part of that was that the websites that were available, many of them were in Spanish. It was difficult for us to get
And
translations.
they were years old. Like you didn't, we had enough trouble in major towns. Oh yeah, no, we realize it says 14:30, 2:30 bus, but that's not running for another month. You got this 10-foot sign up there, so you can't even trust what's on the website necessarily. But
Plus, we don't speak Spanish that well.
yeah,
Turns out. So when we
yeah,
were
it turns
trying
out
to
we thought we were good at it, but we're not.
no, not so good. So when we were trying to make arrangements, and they don't speak as much English as you would hope when you don't speak Spanish. So rightly, we should have learned more Spanish before we went,
Yeah.
and we did not, and so we had trouble just making simple arrangements like bus tickets.
Yeah, our host helped us out
A lot.
a lot.
She was really
She was
good.
great. She was trying to learn English, and she was very good.
Mhm.
And so she would get on the phone, and so that was really nice.
Yeah.
So you can always find help.
You can always find help. You just
Yeah.
have to be patient with
Yeah.
people and friendly, I think.
Yes,
Try not to
absolutely.
get annoyed because you're stressed out
Yeah.
traveling.
Yeah.
All right, well, this has been a little long. I think that
Yeah.
covered everything.
Yeah, I think so too.
Awesome. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Ed.